Hi, welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm your host, Justin Riley, and I'm joined in the studio right now by Susan Yockey, who is the director of the La Follette School of Public Affairs at UW-Madison. Susan, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
So good to have you here. So tell us, why is the La Follette School of Public Affairs such a great graduate program over at UW-Madison?
Well, we really have some great faculty at the La Follette School. So one of the top faculty researchers in the field of public management, for instance, is at the La Follette School. And we bring that faculty research into the classroom to teach analytics, to teach topics that people care about in governance today.
Very cool. Now, you guys do a little bit of outreach at the La Follette School. What is the last thing that you guys did to help the state of Wisconsin?
Well, let me mention two different things. So one thing is we recently brought in former Governor Tommy Thompson. So the governor had actually never given a public lecture on UW's campus before, and so we were thrilled to have him. And he showcased and talked about sort of making public policy work over the next 100 years. It was great. Another thing that we recently did was we ran a training session for legislative staffers in our state legislature. We worked with Representative Robin Voss's office and gave them some new skills to make public policy better.
Very neat. Very neat. Now, some folks who might be watching might have some questions about what are some classes that are examples of classes for public affairs if you were going to go into something like that. Can you give us some examples of what kind of classes you teach over there?
Sure. We teach classes in both public policy and public management. A lot of our classes are very based on analytics. So for instance, we offer a class called cost-benefit analysis. So that actually breaks down the costs of public programs versus their benefits, and that type of information lets public sector decision makers decide, should we introduce this program or not?
Sure. So what are some specific jobs that your graduates might get after they get a degree from the La Follette School?
So our graduates go all across the globe, but most of our graduates stay here in Wisconsin, working for state agencies like the Department of Children and Families, working for the city of Milwaukee, working for major nonprofits in the state and local communities. We also have a select group of folks that are going to private sector. So much of private sector intersects with government and contracting out, or even now philanthropy. And our graduates are well positioned to take those positions too.
Very cool. Very cool. What is that? I'm curious to know, what is your area of expertise?
So I'm a political scientist by training, and I study the policymaking process. So I'm really interested in who wins, who loses, and why. And a lot of my research recently has been on interest groups and whether they're influential in the process.
Sure. So you were you involved in any way in this past election that we just had a few weeks ago or anything like that, or did you?
Mostly as an observer, right?
Sure.
I think all of us were sitting in the state of Wisconsin. We're kind of sitting on the edge of our seat to see how the outcomes might play out. I mean, I'm mostly interested in what happens after the election. So when people get down to making public policy decisions and governing. Sure.
But it is always interesting to see, to kind of pay attention to how much money each candidate is spending and that kind of thing, and then how that bodes for them later on in their election and that kind of thing. So
absolutely. I just got back from a really interesting conference at Stanford, which was all about how money comes into our elections and then can impact public policy.
Yes, very interesting topic. Tell us who your school is named after.
Well, our school is named after Fighting Bob La Follette, right? So the reformer who was from our state, decades ago now. But that spirit of reform in government, making government better, is sort of throughout the La Follette School. We really practice what the university calls the Wisconsin idea, that the knowledge that we generate in our school ought to be shared with our citizenry and the boundaries of our state and the boundaries of our world.
Wonderful. And Fighting Bob was somebody who was a very passionate individual, as I've read about and heard about from him. So it's very obvious to me that you're very passionate about what you do, and I think that that's awesome that you're taking that to your students and that kind of thing. So
thanks. I mean, it's easy to be passionate about a place where the faculty care about the students, and the students just produce such great work.
Yes, absolutely. Susan Yockey, thank you so much for joining us today. Susan Yaki is the director of the La Follette School of Public Affairs at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Check them out, check out their website, and see how you can get involved. We'll be right back with more Talk of the Town. Hi, welcome back to Talk of the Town. If you want to learn how to update your home and have some fun in the process, we have the guest for you today. We have Mary Tracy from Colorscapes Design and Remodel.
That's
Welcome
correct.
to the program, Mary.
Thank you.
Good to
Nice
have you
be
here. So tell us, what makes Colorscapes Design and Remodel unique?
Well, I would say because I have a myriad of talents, according to my clients. I have a background in carpentry, which is not always found in women designers. I have a design background. I particularly work with color and product selection. And also, because of my knowledge, I do general contracting. I'm done hundreds of projects, and I bring lots of experienced people in. It's usually a regular crew that I use. And I'm there on the job, so I can pull it all together.
So you're kind of almost, not even a jack of all trades, but a master of many trades, it kind of sounds like.
My business used to be called, years ago, Renaissance Home Improvements, because I thought of it as something where you did know it was a new renaissance. It was a new time to invent, create something new.
Sure.
So I update homes.
Sure, very cool. Now, if somebody was deciding that they wanted to make an update to their home, what would be a good starting point for them?
Well, I mean, a great starting point is to give me a call, and we can chat about the situation. We can chat about where they've gotten stuck, you know, all the colors, the swatches they have on the walls that they can't
Sure.
figure out why it's not working out. We can talk about a room itself. We can talk about the whole space and how we might be able to, you know, do it in parts. And I think with that conversation, we get more comfortable about how we might work together. And from there, we usually schedule a 2-hour appointment, which oftentimes goes into, not always, but it oftentimes is, if it's a whole house remodel or a bathroom or kitchen remodel, we might go ahead and decide to do 9 hours. And that is a volume discount, so that way they've got my attention over 3 visits. And we can go to showrooms, we can pick out whatever we need to pick out. I put an estimate together, and then we just kind of move into the phase of general contracting, doing the whole project. If we end up doing the whole project, otherwise they get, after 2 hours, they get a set of colors, or they get certain design, you know, preferences, and after a couple hours they can get started.
Very nice.
So-
Very nice. So now, a big part of your job is being able to decipher people's personal tastes and tolerances, preferences, things like that. What is your process for doing that? How do you decipher from people's different tastes and so
Right.
forth?
Some of that, I even pick up cues over a 20-minute conversation on the phone.
Sure.
And I hope that they kind of understand that I will personalize it to them, that I'm not trying to make it what I would like. And so I really listen with a different kind of ear and put my heart to it and try to understand. You know, a lot of times people might say, you know, I really don't want things to get too dark, or I'm not afraid of color. You know, let's do something exciting. Let's do something different. Or they might have some pictures, they might have some ideas, they just can't get there. So usually they give me a lot of cues, and pretty soon they build trust with me and they start to tell me more, and it just starts a process.
Very cool.
Yeah, it is.
Very cool. It's just all in the art of listening, really.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So now some people have these grand ideas when they go into wanting to update their home and they want to do the whole thing. But then they might back off and say, well, I just want to do a little bit at a time. You know, what if somebody wants to do just a little bit at a time? Is that something that you can accommodate?
Yeah, actually, most of the time, people might already have, if it's a newer house, maybe they just want the color. So maybe they just, you know, they couldn't do it when they built the house and now they want to go through, so they might do a two-hour consultation. Other times, you know they want to get to the whole house, but maybe they want to start with the bathroom, or maybe they want to start with the main rooms and do the countertop, do some backsplash, you know, work in some color. And so I always think it's a good idea, you know, we can do separate rooms, but if there's joining rooms, to try to at least get the vision of what might be happening there throughout those rooms. So it all kind of feels like it goes together well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know, some people try to do a lot of things themselves. There's those do-it-yourselfers out there. Why should somebody come to you instead of trying to do it themselves?
Well, I really like to think that I empower people to do a certain amount themselves. Let's say we're looking for lighting. They might get on the internet and we might get an idea. I might kind of make some suggestions. This is what's on the market. You know, this is not necessarily what's a fad, but what's a trend. You know, this is what will work with everything else that's on the market. They may get the idea then enough to where they can look and find things. They'll shoot them to me what they like. I'll give back to them what I think works and what doesn't work. And it's kind of a circular motion, and it works really, really well. So I empower people to feel like they can start to make those decisions themselves, which is great.
Mary Tracy, owner of Colorscapes Design Remodel, thank you so much for coming on the program. Check them out. Update your home with Mary Tracy at Colorscapes, and we'll be right back with more Talk of the Town. Hi, welcome back to Talk of the Town. We're joined by our friends from the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County, and I'm sitting next to Karen Gallagher, who is the Director of Development. Karen, welcome back.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Yeah.
It's always a pleasure to see you guys and
Yeah, always a pleasure to
touch
have
base.
you on.
Thank you.
Right on. So tell us a little bit about what programs you're offering nowadays at the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County.
Well, we offer many, many programs. We're very much a multifaceted after-school program, and we offer programs anywhere from health and wellness programs to our CAPA, which is our Creative Performing Arts programs, to college continuation program, to college club programs so kids can get academic support. So when you come into the Boys and Girls Club, a lot of people think that we're just more of a recreational place where kids go after school. But we're so much more than that, and it's been a pleasure serving them for the last going on 3 years to really tell the story of the Boys and Girls Club of what we do for kids in the community. We serve closing in on 4,000 kids in the
Wow.
Dane County community. So our goal and our strategic plan is to really get out there and touch more lives every day, to really promote programs, promote what we're doing, make sure the kids have good positive experiences after school and also during summer.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Now the holiday season is coming up. Thanksgiving is approaching, and
Right.
soon it'll be December. What sorts of things are you doing? Do you have any holiday events or
Oh, yeah.
things going on for the Boys
Holidays
and
is,
Girls Club?
you talk to any nonprofit person in the world of nonprofit, holidays are a big time to not only serve the community but also serve your direct mission. And this coming holidays, we have several events on the docket. We also have a lot of community events that we are involved with as an organization. And the main one coming up is November 25th, which is next Tuesday. We are having a big turkey dinner for our community at the Allied Drive Boys and Girls Club. We'll be serving over 500 people turkey dinner, giving out over 200 turkeys to families that might not have had the opportunity to afford turkey dinner, so we're going to be able to pass out baskets as well. So it's a busy time for us. We have several other events leading up to Christmas. And we're also doing a lot of, this is a time of the year where, we try to support a lot of our families that cannot afford, Christmas as a whole. So we're doing a lot of outreach as well as an organization.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
It really is so much more than just an after-school
Absolutely.
program. You're out reaching out to the community. You're providing things for folks that are in need. That's very, very cool.
Yeah, that's part of our mission. We're here to serve children, but we're also here to serve their families and make sure that they have resources and just the staples of life that we take for granted at times.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So.
What are some things that folks out there can do to get involved in Boys and Girls Club?
Well, if you go to our website, which I know you guys have on your website, you can volunteer. We always are in need of people helping up, whether it's stuffing baskets for the turkey dinner that's coming up, and I believe that's next Monday. So if you go to www.bgcdc.org, we have several events coming up over the next month that you could sign up and volunteer for. We're always looking for new partnerships and people to be involved with whether it be mentorships, volunteering for other events throughout the year. It's just not the holidays. We are continuous of what we do. Like I said, we're very multifaceted in regards to what we do in our outreach throughout the year. So we're always looking for people to reach out and help out the club in different ways.
Year round,
Year round.
365 days a
yeah,
year.
There's not a downtime, especially when you're serving kids and making sure that 4,000 kids have opportunities every day.
Absolutely. So you talked a little bit about the Allied Drive location.
Yes.
What other locations do you have in the area for Boys and Girls Club?
We have 2 club sites, Allied Drive being one of them, and then of course Taft Street is the other location. We are also in 8 schools throughout Dane County. We have our Abbott Tops program is run in 4 high schools with the Madison School District. We are also in Verona High School. We run our college club program there. We are also in 2 middle schools that run our other college club program. So we're very diverse, in terms of programs we offer, and I think that's part of the story that we want to get out there, that we do so much more than just club-based programming. We offer programs in Verona, Sun Prairie, Monona Grove, areas like that. And our true goal is to continue that growth. We are Boys and Girls Club of Dane County. We want to be able to reach, all folks in the county and be able to reach out to kids as well in other locations.
Karen Gallagher, thank
Thank
you
you.
so much for coming on the show. It's always good to have the Boys and Girls Club back here
Yep.
in the studio. We'll be right back with more Talk of the Town. Don't go away.
Welcome back to Talk of the Town. We have a special segment for you. The youngest child of heavy metal icon Ozzy Osbourne is here. He is living with remitting multiple sclerosis and has been for 2 years. And he is here to spread the news about what he's learned and how he's coped. So please welcome Jack Osbourne. And Jack, welcome and thanks so much for joining us today.
Hey, thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So now this is something very serious, and there is a lot I want to ask you about, but you've been dealing with this now for 2 years. So first, let's talk a little bit about just how life has been for you since you were diagnosed with RRMS 2 years ago, correct?
Yes. Life has been great. I've been managing very well. Made a few life changes, a few adjustments, and got on a treatment that works really well with me. And I'm kind of, I think I like to say that life changed more being a dad than really with MS.
Okay, so you're taking it in stride and
Trying to.
Yeah, and I commend you for doing that. And just out of curiosity, when you were first diagnosed, what were your thoughts, and how did you initially take that news?
I don't think anyone necessarily takes that news very well. It's not like you get handed a golden ticket. I was pretty bummed out. I kind of had a couple days of feeling pretty down. But you just kind of, I was in a great position because my daughter had just been born 3 weeks earlier. So I didn't have time to sit and just get into a deep, dark depression because I had a newborn baby to take care of, and my wife she's very, she's very straightforward, and she's very like, all right, well, you gotta, pull yourself together, and let's figure this out, and yeah, go change a diaper.
Yeah. So you had to jump right into parenthood, and I do want to talk to you about a campaign that you have coming up, because this is something that you have put together to really enlighten folks and let people know what this is all about. So this is called You Don't Know Jack About MS, and just tell us a little bit about this campaign.
So the You Don't Know Jack About MS campaign is, you can go to youdon'tknowjackaboutms.com, and it's basically an awareness campaign. We're trying to continue to educate and raise awareness about the disease. And I've teamed up with Teva Neuroscience, and we decided to create a web-based kind of docu-series that follows me and, how I live with the disease. And, we do episodes on health and diet and exercise and support and, all varying different, kind of subject matters related to MS. And we do some man-on-the-street stuff. And, it's kind of education through entertainment, really.
Absolutely, and what a great way to bring awareness to something. So I commend you for doing that and your efforts there. And as you've been doing this, have you found there to be some big misconceptions about the disease? And if so, what are those?
Oh, there are loads of misconceptions. People think the disease is something that it's not. People, I think, still have not a great knowledge of what the disease is, and that's something that I've always found very frustrating. And also, I think there's a huge misperception of how it affects someone's day-to-day life. I think the common thought is that when you have MS, you're no longer able-bodied, and your life essentially is over. And it's just not the case anymore at all. Granted, there are some people who have a very progressive form of MS, and they unfortunately do suffer symptoms like that. But it's not the case for relapsing remitting MS at all.
Okay, so one thing I'd like for you to ask, you've really done such a good job of just moving forward with your life and putting your family in front of really, worrying about this. And now, can you give somebody some advice if they are dealing with this disease? What advice can you give them to just move on?
I would tell them to get off the internet and actually talk to people who have MS. Find, you can, through the different charities and organizations that they set up support meetings, support groups, and find, or even just find someone who's a friend of a friend or whatever who has MS and talk to them one-on-one. The internet has great information, but there's also a lot of misinformation.
Absolutely.
And then I would say get on a treatment that works. Find, there's lots and lots of options out there that are available, but find something that it suits your lifestyle and that you feel like you can maintain.
Absolutely.
That's important. It's so important.
Well, just an inspiration to us, Jack. Thank you for sharing your time with us. I know you got to go, but real quick, how can others learn more about this?
They can go to youdon'tknowjackaboutms.com. There's videos, there's tons of information, there's links to other, charity organizations and support groups out there. So, jump on the website.
All right, Jack. Well, thank you so very much. That is Jack Osborne, and please check out You Don't Know Jack About MS, premiered on November 6th. We'll let you move on, Jack, but thank you so very much for joining us. We'll be back with more Talk of the Town right after this.
Thank you.